Lots of men starting TRT expecting it to change their life. More energy, better mood, better body. And most of all, better sex life. And often it does help. Sometimes it is transformational, even Hollywood transformational. Yet for some men, TRT becomes source of issues, frustrations and side effects. Why does the same treatment that helps some men so much, while others get far less than they hoped for? It comes down to patience, dose and responsibility. Here is why. The first issue is impatience. Lots of men start TRT and expect to know within a week or two if it's working. But testosterone cypionate has intramuscular half-life of around 8 days. So you are not looking for overnight process here. You are looking at few weeks, not days. Just for things to settle from the first dose. And while that's happening, your body is adjusting in background too. That also takes time. Weeks at least, sometime longer. For me, it took over 3 months. So trying to judge TRT early is where lots of men go wrong. In real life, some guys start tweaking their protocol after week 1 or 2. They up the dose, drop the dose, change frequency, before anything has even stabilized yet. That's how TRT turns into guesswork. If you keep changing the dose too quickly, all you create is noise. And the more noise you create, the harder it is to read the symptoms and the blood work. So patience matters. Track your symptoms objectively. Get your blood work. Make measured changes with your provider. And most of all, give each step a time. While that is happening, work on things that actually make TRT work better in real life. Sleep, food, body fat, training, alcohol, routine. Because TRT and lifestyle improvements compound. If all you do is sit there staring at the calendar, waiting to feel amazing, and changing things every few weeks, you can make the process far messier than it needs to be. The second issue is the belief more is better. We humans are guilty of this. I often am. If something feels good, we want more of it. And when it comes to something that can improve mood, energy, muscle, sex drive, the temptation gets even stronger. There is a reason for that. When testosterone is low, men often feel terrible. Low energy, low drive, poor mood. No sex drive, all the usual stuff. Then he gets into better range and starts feeling more like himself again. It feels so good. So of course the brain starts thinking, if this feels good, more must feel even better. And sometimes to a point it can, but only if rest of your health is actually there in place to support it. Because that dose doesn't exist in vacuum. It lands on top of real body, real blood pressure, real lipids and real other markers. And most of all, it lands on top of your real lifestyle. More body fat can mean more conversion to estrogen. Alcohol isn't just bad in some vague moral way. It affects recovery, hydration, and potentially your kidney and liver markers. And if your hydration is poor, that matters too. Because testosterone therapy can raise your blood count. Because the dose that's manageable in lean, healthy, active men with decent cardiovascular fitness and solid routine can be very different story to man who is overweight, unfit, sleeps badly, drinks too much, and already has poor health baseline. Same treatment, different body, different risk. That's why more is not always better. Sometimes more is just more to manage. The goal is not to push testosterone as high as possible. The goal is to feel better, function better, and improve your life with the least unnecessary downside. And this is probably the biggest one, responsibility. Some men start TRT already doing a lot right. They train, they eat pretty well, they don't drink too much, they have some structure. They are trying to improve. but they are running low on testosterone. For that man, TRT can work incredibly well, because now you are removing a limit from a system that's already built to use more power. It's like putting a Lamborghini engine in a street race car that can make use of that power, but then you get the other extreme. A man with 40 or 50% body fat, already high blood pressure, poor lipids or kidney markers, living on takeaways, frozen ready meals, sugar, alcohol and almost no water, no structure, no discipline, no respect for his own body. And now he wants to throw testosterone on top of that, in the hope it fixes his poor lifestyle. That's like putting the same Lambo engine into a Trabant. Huge power, weak structure. Sooner or later something fails. That does not mean he is hopeless. It does mean he has different starting point. Maybe he needs to start lower, build better habits, improve his health, build a structure that can actually use that power. Because there is no point putting massive engine into something weak if the wheels fall off at the first corner. That is the real difference. TRT works best when it lands on top of effort, structure and self-respect. Same treatment, different man, different outcome. So yes, TRT can be transformational, but it usually works best when man is willing to meet it halfway, with patience, with judgment, and with the willingness to build a lifestyle and body that can actually support more power. Because TRT is not magic, it's not shortcut. And is not a replacement for responsibility. It is a treatment, and like most treatments, it works much better when the structure is already there. If you are already on TRT and want to understand your blood work like a human being, I have linked my guide How to Read TRT Test in the description. And if you want more honest content on TRT, training and rebuilding strength after 40, subscribe.